Welcome back. On this episode of RADBMX Builds, boy, do we have problems, and I mean big problems. This place is a mess, and it's an absolute disaster. And what do I do with it next? Let's find out. Okay, let's get down to it. What's going on with the business? I've been in business now for about 8 years doing RADBMX Builds, and I started this YouTube channel about 3 years ago because a friend of mine did YouTube and said, man, you got a great following on Instagram. Do YouTube. You know, I have 133,000 people on Instagram and barely over 10,000 here on YouTube. I don't know how to get them to migrate over to here where you're at now. If you're watching this video and you just haven't subscribed, why not? It costs you nothing. It's absolutely free and you can do it. So what's going on in the shop too? Man, I don't know. Do I keep doing this? Do I keep doing YouTube? Do I keep building these bikes? Do you like to see the content? I feel like you do. I really enjoy building the bikes. After I retired from the military, it became a full-time hobby of mine that did well enough to kind of fund itself. So I made it a business. Is it extremely profitable and like, oh my gosh, you must be a millionaire with all these bikes? These bikes aren't making anybody millions. I don't care what they say. They are expensive to build. I make a little bit when I sell them, but it's absolutely not gonna make you millions of dollars. I rely heavily on sponsors and I rely heavily on you. So if you like merch, if you like the bikes when I sell them, if you like the things that I have in my link for the sponsors, I strongly encourage you to take a look at those, click on them, buy something, support me, support my sponsors, whatever you can do. It really helps. There's even a little button underneath this video where you can give a gift of any amount you want. Okay, enough about me asking for money, because that's really not what this is about. I'm just telling you how you can help content creators out by helping us make enough to keep it going. Because man, after 3 years of making YouTube videos, it's no joke. Every video is about an 8-hour process to do the lighting, the filming, the building, whatever it is, the editing, the uploading, the thumbnail. All that takes a lot of time and effort, and sometimes I question, is it worth it? If it is to you, let me know down below. I need to know. I need that little boost of encouragement. I still enjoy this. I really, truly do. 99.9% of you are absolutely rad, awesome in the comments, very supportive. Every now and then I get that 0.1 that's just an absolute loser that has nothing better to do than talk crap to someone they don't know on the internet or on a social media platform. That's probably not you. Okay, let's get down to what's happening here in the shop. I'm in over my head. I feel like I've peaked as a solo bike builder. So do I hire somebody to help out? See, that means quite the cost. So I'm not sure if I'm ready to give up even more money to pay somebody to help out. I would love to have somebody to help out. I would love to have somebody here in the shop to chit chat with, to help build with, to do social media with, to film with, to bring you even better content. But right now, currently, I'm not taking applications. I appreciate some of you that thought, wow, that'd be cool, I'd work there. Hell, I would work here too if I had nothing else going on. Wait, I do. So that's probably why I work here. Now, bike builds, let's get down to it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bike builds currently going on. It's insane. I just bought a bike this morning, so it's on its way. So I'm in over my head. I'm in deep, and I'm gonna start selling some bikes. I know a lot of you are gonna be real excited about that. Here's how to buy a bike from RADBMX Builds. The first people that I tell, overall, out of anybody else, are my subscribers on Instagram. You can go over to Instagram and for $5 a month be a subscriber. I give those folks about 48 hours dibs on anything I'm gonna sell before I go public with that information. So let's say I'm gonna sell, I don't know, the PK Ripper. I will go to Instagram, go to my subscribers, and leave some sort of message to them that, hey, PK Ripper is going to be available to the public in 48 hours. If you want it, let me know right now, and we will sell it privately without the world knowing about it. And that happens often. So I get it. Maybe you don't want to be a subscriber on Instagram. Maybe you just want to follow that account. Cool. If none of those subscribers buy it, I then make a post. Hey, this PK Ripper is for sale on the website. I don't sell anything on social media. That platform is completely riddled with scammers. I don't post prices. I don't do any of that. No business whatsoever on Instagram. I just post content. So I'll post a bike and it will say for sale if it is truly for sale. And then where do you go? RADBMXBUILDS.com. That's where you go. That's where you've always gone. That's where you will forever go to buy anything of mine. I won't sell it through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any of those platforms I post on. None of them. Only the website only. Also, that's where you buy merch. You buy whatever it is I'm selling. Folks, it's on the website, RADBMXBUILDS.com. Okay, I want to give you two things today, and that's a tour of what's happening in this chaos behind me. And I promised you a reveal in the last video if you watched it. And I'm done with the 1989 GT Pro Series. And I'm going to break it to you right now. The bike I bought today, I haven't told anybody, so you're the first. I bought a 1989 Chrome GT Mach 1. So basically the little brother to this thing, and it's so sick. It's pretty cool to have the Pro Series and the Mach 1. Do I want the GT Interceptor? Probably not. I don't need to have all three. I think it's just cool that I randomly stumbled across the Mach 1, so that's on its way. I hope you like that. If you do, you're going to want to see the future video of that as well. Okay, here it is. Let's go through the shop, and at the very end, I'm going to give you the reveal of the 1989 GT Pro Series. Okay, who's ready for this? I usually don't do this. I haven't done it in quite a while, especially here for you folks on YouTube. So I'm going to share pretty much everything we have here in the shop. Everyone's like, do you have this? Do you have that? Is this for sale? Is that for sale? So let's try to answer those questions together, and we'll go through my entire shop and you'll see everything that I have. So first things first, I want to show you some pads that I collaborated with Flite with that are available, and you can get those down below. Okay, these beautiful white Flite BMX pads with the paint splatter logo are available, but if you don't like white, also come in black. So they're pretty rad. So that is the second iteration. The very first ones I ever did have the old original logo, and these are no longer available. So I have one set each just to remember by, but those are no longer available, so I apologize if you like the ones that actually say builds. I thought more of you would want the ones that actually just say RADBMX and have a paint splatter effect. All right, down here, wheels, tires. These are 24-inch GT Super Lace hubs, wheels with Kenda tires, some of my filming equipment, some brand new wheels by Bassett. They look like the old Pro Class. And these are Technique hubs, and they're going to be going on the 83 Diamondback Silver Streak, and that build is coming extremely soon. That's why it's up here on the table. Speaking of that, let's move on down to the 1991 GT Mach 1. Beautiful bike. That build coming soon. But prior to those two, this one, the 1993 GT Pro Series, that build is coming this week, actually. I'm going to be building and filming that bike. So these are three on the table, three ready to go, just waiting on small little things before we start building them. Okay, I'm going to take you behind the scenes. This is back behind the counter, exclusive for you. I'm going to show you all the stuff that I typically don't show on camera, so let's check it out. All right, back here is where all the work goes on. Basically all your tools, cleaning supplies, all that stuff. My drawer's a complete mess, but that's the way it goes sometimes. But my tools are on point, super organized. Big shout out to my buddy Corey for buying me this toolbox after doing a build for him. Is a little bit of gratitude. So thank you, Corey, for that. Got ET rocking the RADBMX hoodies. And these neon lights, you can get one too. Links down below. You can get a neon light also. Signed poster by Eddie Fiola. Got that, oh, I don't know, a year or so ago, maybe longer. The brand new over-the-shoulder bag by Flite, if you want one of those. The really rare Eddie Fiola versus Radical Rick, signed by both of them, poster. And then when Craig came over, Craig Turner gave me the GT Nation poster when I built that bike right there. That's the GT Nation Tommy Bracken's replica, a 1-of-1. There's Tommy's signed picture up there. And the serial number on that bike, if you haven't heard me say it already, is RADBMX. So that is a GT with my company's name stamped on the serial number. And then this is my 24-inch hutch that I just built. You might have seen this, you might not have. Absolute stunner of a bike. SR stem, ladder bars, SR seat clamp, Sugino chainring and cranks. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous bike. Flite Tech seat. Honestly, I haven't even ridden it yet. I built it, filmed it, and put it up there, and that's where it's been sitting for a little while. Okay, let's talk about Eddie Fiola's book, and then we got Bill Batchelor's book. If you haven't gotten either of these, go buy them. Tons of chain rings that I just have sitting back here. Some GT Eddie Fiola hats. I'm a collector, obviously. And huge shout out to Amy Grips. Definitely have a link in my description for Amy Grips if you want any of those. Some more right here. And let's talk Radical Rick, Damian Fulton. Damian, you're a true inspiration, a real awesome person in the community, and you are the artist of Radical Rick, a true friend. And side note, if you hadn't heard, in about 2 weeks, I'm going to Tulsa, Oklahoma to the BMX Hall of Fame. Haro gave me a bike in collaboration with Damian Fulton to do a Radical Rick build, and that build ended up in the BMX Hall of Fame. I'm bringing that bike and the display back here to Texas. Video coming soon on that. Okay, lots of parts. I usually put all my builds into boxes and then put them on the table where I can see what I have and what I need. These are some Araya 48s. I got a bunch of sets of forks. And back here behind the banners are just boxes and boxes of parts. And then a sneak peek, we'll be doing a video on this electric BMX bike extremely soon. So if you're into that, you're gonna wanna see that. It's probably the next video. 1978 MCS Spider. Now I haven't shown this a whole lot. I've been building it in the background and it's coming along really well. And I think I have every single part for it coming. They actually arrived today. So that bike might get finished this afternoon if I'm not too busy doing other stuff. All right, whoops, let's go back up top. 1987 GT Mach 1, one of my favorite bikes. Just the color balance of this bike screams Huntington Beach, 80s. Absolutely amazing bike. It came out so good. And then we'll come back down to the CW Phase 1. This bike's absolutely amazing. I just made some changes to it recently. It had on these red wheels. I wanted to put those on the MCS. So I had BMX Guru build these wheels for me. And they are polished Araya 7X style hoops, red nipples, red high flange seal bearing hubs. And I just gave this bike a show look that I really wanted. So amazing bike. Big shout out to ProNeck stem, ProNeck power disc and chain ring, and a ProNeck seat post clamp. The CW Phase 1, one of my favorites. That's the second one that I've owned. The other one I sold and then really missed having it. So I built this one and went a little crazy. Back up top, Greg Hill, if you're watching this, you're a true bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for helping me and guiding me to the build of this 1983 Greg Hill. And it has the OG Redline cranks. Also, again, Pro Neck power disc, Pro Neck seat post clamp, and Pro Neck stem. So just an absolute beautiful build. And then my childhood bike, the 1983 SE PK Ripper in baby blue and gold. And that's what I used to race and ride in high school. And then the Eddie King 1979 Torquer, just an absolute insane rare bike. Love this build. Showed it to Eddie a couple times. He loves that build. And Eddie is actually getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this September. So I'm going to see him in a couple weeks. I'm going to be filming while I'm there. Let me see if I can get Eddie on film, and we'll talk about that bike if he wants to. But what a killer bike. And it is in phenomenal condition. I did a full restoration build on that. And talking about a full restoration build, the 1980 Cook Brothers Racing, my grail bike. I never had one, always wanted one, and they were actually built in Santa Ana, California. I grew up in Fullerton, California, right up the street. So a few kids back then had these, not many, but always wanted one, and now it's in the collection. Really excited to have it. Man, that forward slanted stem, chrome and blue, man, just it hits different. It's absolutely amazing. Love that. Then we have this Redline RL 340 comp down here, and it is Redline tires. It is everything stock. It's Redline stem, Redline seat clamp, Redline chainring and cranks. Even has a reflector on the back still, but I think I'm gonna tear this bike apart, re-powder coat it. I have the exact same decals coming, but I'm changing the color. I'm gonna go away from the black and then do a different color. It'll be a surprise. That build's coming soon. And then my 24-inch Dyno Pro Comp. This is a full custom build. Amy grips, Tech 77 levers, Odyssey gyro, which is a new addition to this bike. It did not come with a gyro, I added it. The BMX pretzel bars, not the cruiser bars. Skyways, fork standers, Kenda tires, Mr. Dice Guy coming in for the brake ends and the massive valve stem caps. And then these are OG decals. These are not reproduction. These are OG. And then let's talk about the paint. Ernie's 80s Bike Shop did this powder coat. This is a multi-stage neon yellow powder coat with hand-laid black splatter to look like the early 90s bikes. And it just came out so good. And then we got a fluted seat post, a dyno seat, a dyno brake guard, the Skyways, the pegs, the GT power disc and cranks, and GT platform pedals. So woof, that's a lot. And then my mannequin Mike back here, repping some dyno wear today, but he's gonna be changing out soon because remember I said Radical Rick's coming? I don't want to give it all away. He's going to be part of the display, and he might look a little more like a Rick than a Mike. Let me tell you that. So stay tuned for that. All right, then as we come around, we got this display case, and this is a newer addition to the shop. I've had it for about, I don't know, a month or two now, and it's just a good spot for me to organize all the stuff I have and actually have it on a display as well. It helps me find parts when I'm looking for them. And it looks good in the background. A couple old school helmets there. OG GT pads. GT pads signed by Gary Turner. RADBMX Builds pads signed by Eddie Fiola. Lots of old parts back in here and collectible stuff that I just like to throw in. So pretty cool display. I put all my sunglasses out here. Some Oakley stuff. That's actually an Oakley display I found on eBay. And then, who remembers the Swatch watch? I managed to score this big wall mount Swatch at Mall of America in Minnesota when I was there. They're very hard to come by, so All right. Yep. It just went by the screen. I'm avoiding it on purpose because I want to give you a proper reveal of the 1989 GT Pro Series. But before I do, you can see what I'm dealing with here. It's a lot, and it's just one dude working in here on bikes, trying to make content, trying to run a business, trying to order parts. Every single day, my poor UPS dude's like, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. It's just boxes and boxes of parts. I spent all morning breaking down boxes because the trash is coming tomorrow. And man, I know I'm complaining a lot in this video, but I'm a bit overwhelmed. So I'm going to be selling the Pro Series. I'm going to be selling the Mach 1. I'm going to be selling the Red Line when it's done. I'm going to be selling the MCS Spider, a 1978 MCS Spider. So, and probably more, but those are some of the bikes I'm going to be offloading very soon. And when I say soon, I don't know. Whenever I'm done with them and put them on, that's right, the website. Okay, you've waited long enough. If you're still here, I appreciate it. If you hit subscribe in this video, I truly appreciate it. Let's show you one of my favorite builds. This thing to me is a masterpiece, and I'm so excited for it. I did show a photo of it on Instagram already. I'm gonna show you here in the video. This is part 2 to the last video to reveal the 1989 GT Pro Series, and it is a stunner. This will be a show-winning bike. If I decide to sell it, the buyer of that bike will have to do absolutely nothing because there is nothing wrong with this bike. It's perfect. All right, let's check it out. Absolutely love how this came out, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to go over everything, then we're going to bring it outside in the daylight and give you some nice B-roll with some music. But first things first, the Amy grips, the GT Donuts by Flite, Tech 77 lever, the Diacomp brake cable, the GT Dyno 89 pads, and then the GT 4-piece bars. And why did I go with those? You see the stamp there underneath, that GT stamp? Well, that was important to me because these beautiful GT forks also have that stamp underneath, and I wanted it just to kind of match that a little bit. I do have the Pro Series bars that came on this, but I'm going to be putting them on the 93 Pro Series. So work our way down. The decals we talked in depth on in the last video, and I installed them, and you can see all that in the last video. So these are new reproduction decals. We also talked about the wheels in the last one. I showed them to you earlier. The Araya 48 spokes were going to go on this bike, but they were just a little duller than I wanted on this bike because the show quality chrome on this. So BMX Guru built these wheels for me, and they came out absolutely amazing. I decided to go with the GT LP tires instead of a Comp 3 style tire. Like I said before, this bike will be used more in street riding than in the dirt anyway. And I just love the way it looked. They also say GT on them, which I thought was pretty rad for this bike. Work our way back. We got an OG GT seat post clamp. We have a GT seat coming down to something truly gorgeous. I went back and forth with so many variants here, and I ended up with a black chainring, blue GT chainring bolts, a polished power disc, GT Power Series cranks with the pork chop bolt upgrade to make them look like the original old school cranks, and then we did a black and chrome pedal on there, and the balance of that with the black and chrome chain looks really good. Okay, come back to the rear brake, and we have the Diacomp Nippon style side pull rear brake with cool stop blue anodized finned brake pads and the blue cable end on there. And then we did some pork chop dropout savers just because I don't want to screw up how gorgeous that chrome was, and it came out really good. I think the blue looks great on this. Just little hints of the blue look really good. So there it is on the display case. We kind of talked about the parts. I don't want to forget the dimple stem, which polished out to be absolutely gorgeous. So enough of me talking about the bike. Let's get it out in the sun and give you some cool music and do a really proper reveal. Okay, and there you have it. That is the 1989 GT Pro Series that I promised you. Is it for sale? No, not at all right now. It's going to end up in this collection for some time, but you know where to go when bikes are available. Hey, if you go to the website and there's no bikes on it, that just means there's none currently available. But I told you how to be the first one to find out, so consider going to the Instagram, join the other 133,000 people, get them to come over here, and consider subscribing there if you really want to get a bike first. That's the best way to do it. Okay, real quick, please do not fall for scams on Instagram. Do not send anybody money on Instagram. Even if they say their wife is cancer-free, they're giving away a bike and they just need you to pay shipping. Whatever it is, these guys are crooks. They have tons and tons of accounts. I've blocked hundreds and hundreds of them up to this point. And all you got to do is just have a little common sense. Go to the page. Nobody's got a bazillion very high-end bikes at really cheap prices with all different backgrounds. Those are all red flags. So please be careful out there. Please don't trust these people on social media platforms trying to sell you something they don't even have. If they can't do a video with them in it, with the bike behind them, they don't have that bike. So don't trust them. Be careful out there. I've done a whole video on scammers. If you want to watch that, just scroll back through my videos and you'll find it. I really appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all your support. Please consider going and getting some shirts, hats, hoodies, stickers, whatever you want from the website to support us here at RADBMX Builds so I can keep bringing you rad bikes and rad content. I appreciate all the positivity in the comment section. Stay rad, and I'll see you in the next video.